Hey everyone, it is James of geometriccharts.com and November 21st, about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin on Bitfinex, BTC, USD, and the video is not investment advice. So anyways, basically, I talked about the weakness in this market, and it looks like the market is just continuing to fatigue. It's trying to find some footing, but each and every time it does, it's met with a wave of sellers. And I do think we are more than likely going to have a continuation of downside. There may be a little breather here, but I do not imagine it lasting long. Even if we do get a spike up, I do not imagine that lasting long. It would be only a relief rally. There is a ton of selling pressure. We talked about the triangle forming here that everyone I think can clearly see on this chart. I mean, wherever you want to put the line, whatever, however you want to make the triangle. We clearly see what happened here. Bitcoin tried to re-enter back into the triangle and failed miserably. And that would have been the opportunity for what I talked about in a prior video, the false breakdown and the reversal. Thinking that there's going to be a magical reversal from this level is literally like I don't even know. I guess the probability of reaching those Lamborghinis on the dark side of the moon is probably about the probability of this thing flipping back and skyrocketing through. It doesn't mean the market is over. It just means that Bitcoin just has lower to traverse. Right now, we are at an energy point of a point in history to where there was a lot of buying and selling price action. That's why I have these blue boxes marked out. So you can see how we're entering into there, and all of a sudden we're getting this little chop. The same way when we entered into here, we got the chop. So there's some memory in this chart of where those buyers and sellers were. So the question is now as we are poking into this area, do we traverse to the other side about 3,500 and continue downward? Or do we actually start to find some footing somewhere in here and this is the bottom for Bitcoin? If it does turn into a bottom, then I do think that Bitcoin will form a larger relief rally at some point, but it's going to be determined by once it can find some footing. And right now, it looks like there's just too much selling pressure in this market. And since we broke down out of this monster triangle, and really at the end of the day, triangle aside, since it's a very basic pattern, I mean, we can just look at, hang on real quick, let me grab this. We can just look at this right here. This is a massive amount of energy being accumulated. And then look, as we kind of scrunch it all down, it got tighter and tighter and tighter. That is a lot of energy telling you there is an explosive move coming. I talked about it coming. I didn't know which way it was going to break because honestly, it's a 50-50 probability. And there's no way in heck I'm going to say that this is, this is exactly what I call for. I warned everyone that the market was fatiguing, and I knew that we were having trouble maintaining upside in this market, especially with the volume washing out. And I preached as much caution as possible, and I got a lot of flack for it sometimes. But I'm not here to stroke my ego or anything like that, but clearly we can see that there is a wave of sellers, and the only time that we've ever seen volume really start to increase is to the downside. Anytime there's a relief rally, anytime there's been a spike up, all that volume has been washed out immediately, and the volume has dwindled and dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. So anyways, we'll see what happens here. Again, I imagine there is further downside. Bitcoin may hold out and kind of travel a little sideways into the week. We have Thanksgiving tomorrow. We'll have Black Friday and so forth. So things may just kind of chop around. The weekends have been basically horizontal in nature, so I'm not really expecting much. Anyways, so that is it. for the market analysis. I do not know. I may produce the video on Friday. If something dramatically changes, I'll do a video on Friday. If not, I'll just talk to everybody on Monday, because literally if we go sideways or hold up here, then that is it. That is the best thing I expect for Bitcoin to do, is just kind of hold up before it rolls over again, based on everything I see in the charts. So anyways, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. You spend a lot of time with your family and friends. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for your time. I thank everybody for their support. I'm definitely thankful for everything on YouTube. And if you do like the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow. If I do not get back to your questions, I'm very sorry. Some people ask where I think Bitcoin's going to go. You know, it's hard to predict the future. I could guess on an estimation of the triangle that if we are truly breaking down out of this 3,000 point move swing within this area, we could see about 1,500 points or so that could potentially bring us down to maybe the 3,500, 3,600 range or so, just as a rough estimate. But based on everything I see here, even I think that might not, or that might be too high. I think we are really going to see a phase in this market to where I'll call it alt Armageddon. Again, there's over 1,500 of these coins. I think there's almost like 2,000 of them. Something ridiculous. Like, it was like they just came out the woodwork like cockroaches. And a lot of these things need to be smashed down. And I don't know if Bitcoin is going to be the phoenix that rises from the ashes, or if it's going to be something else. I thought maybe Ripple will be positioned to be that. Everyone doesn't like Ripple because it's centralized versus decentralized, and that was the whole thing behind cryptocurrency. But at the end of the day, the banking cartel is not going to allow anything to survive that is not under their control. There's just no way in heck this world that is fueled by greed and complete domination of human beings over other human beings will allow something to survive to where the people have the power. I don't even know a country that allows that anymore. So again, there's so much corruption across the board, you know, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, there was no way in hell this thing was ever going to be decentralized. They will track everything you do with any form of payment you do, and that's just the way it's going to be. You want to see some crazy stuff? Become a marketer for Google and Facebook. See how much data they collect on just individuals there. There's nothing that you are going to do in this world that will be untrackable. So anyways, it doesn't even matter if you go to dark web or not. I mean, you're talking like CIA, FBI, you're talking everything swarming there. I mean, it's just an illusion that you're getting the freedom you want. But I do think that cryptocurrency has the future. Going off on a tangent here for anyone still listening, I do think cryptocurrency is the future, or something that mimics what this is, because this is perfect global domination of fiat control. You know, it's boundless. So it's the ultimate form, I think, of monetary control that this will lead into. Anyways, that's me going way off on a tangent. Call it conspiracy or whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I do see the benefit of it for the controllers. And from watching these markets and being in them for so long, there's definitely controllers. And I just call it the banking cartel as one of the primary controllers of these markets. So anyways, that's it. Wild and crazy tangent for the weekend. Have a wonderful night, wonderful day, depending on where you are in the world. And I will talk to everybody maybe on Friday if something dramatically changes. If not, Monday.